YouTube now
ขอลิงก์นะคะ
got it okay
เล่นโปรแกรมจะเข้าจากเมืองไทยเขาขอลิงก์นะคะแป๊บนึง
okay right so good morning everyone I hope that you are having a wonderful time so far unless you were thinking to have a wonderful sleep on the Sunday morning and suddenly the clock goes off and da, 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 and then oh this is a meditation time so and first of all thank you everyone for all the feedbacks and I will go through again. I haven't go through all of them. So thank you very much and glad to hear that everyone is happy to join and enjoying the sessions. In this case, we have to thank Waterphone for being a medium and connecting us throughout this time and being a middleman, keeping us on the string so that we will not forget to practice. So thank you very much, Warapod. And I'm also very glad to see everyone is benefited from these sessions. Right? So anybody has got anything to ask or anything finding difficulties in meditation before we start the day? No? No. Okay.
That's
So
something that we can ask when we go away, like when we are on vacation or when we are somewhere else than our place. It's difficult to meditate.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestion for that? Because we kind of lose days of practice when we are away from home.
It doesn't become a priority anymore.
Mm.
We don't have our couch where we normally have the the practice to sit and meditate first before doing anything else. So we easily forget. It's still not like brushing teeth. So
okay. So do not worry, you are on holiday, so don't worry that I have to be meditating. Try to be mindful of whatever you are doing, and that is enough when we are going away. Yeah, so they say when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do. Okay, so enjoy and but just be mindful. Okay. Yeah, small activities you can be mindful of that too. Okay, right, and let's start off a silent meditation. That's okay. So just bring your attention and just to be silent yourself and watch the breath, and after that we'll go through with it. Okay, so just bring your attention to yourself and be mindful as you are sitting here and now. And just leaving all the worries and all the stories and even the thoughts that you would like to do something. And just be mindful as you are here. Say, do not dwell in the past, and then do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. So that is the instruction for the proper development of a calmness. And doesn't matter where we are, doesn't matter. The matter is knowing and seeing in the moment here. To spend a few moments on the breath after that. And mindful of incoming breath and outgoing breath. Okay, so thank you very much. There is a very nice words that comes in one of the books saying that the restless, agitated mind, hard to protect, hard to control, a noble one makes straight as a fletcher the shaft of an arrow. And similarly, there is another sayings that is, those who build the canals channel the flow of water, and arrow makers makes the arrow. Woodworkers craft the wood. Okay? And those committed to goodness tame their minds. So that's why the practice of a meditation is to understand how our mind is and how agitated it can be, and quite often how difficult to control and how difficult to organize it. And with this, it brings so much troubles. And we will be living in the past and worrying about the future and so on. And practice of a meditation is like a canal builder or a person who knows how to channel the water so it flows for the benefit of our own purpose. It's like you have got a piece of wood, and now you are working with that piece of wood and able to convert it into any other things. And this all work happens in the present moment. In the present moment. Now, our body is always here. I quite often refer it. Our body is always in the present moment. And then but our mind is always either in the past or in the future, never in the present moment. And that is the root cause of how we become agitated and how we cannot tame this mind. So practice is basically to tame it, and then later we are training it. Now the process is based on whether we are motivated or not. Our motivation. And this motivation, again, also based on, have we seen benefit from the practice? If we haven't seen the benefit from the practice, then there will be a less motivation to practice, or less motivation to pay attention to. Yeah, less motivation to pay attention to any activities. And when we do not pay attention to any this mental activities going on, and what happens is that our behavior becomes just as it was, easy to be panicked, and easy to be lost into the thoughts and worrying about the future, and become a distress and stressful life, and so on. Yeah? Now we have to develop this paying attention to the objects that is happening around us. And I normally use the simile of driving a car. Right? Driving a car. When we learn how to drive a car, we become so panicked and so worried that how to change the gear, how to look at the mirrors, and how to put the gas pedal on. So many worries there, panicked. So with the help of instructor, we gradually develop the skill, and we can function it at the same time, all the maneuvers that need it without any trouble, without any worries. Yeah? So initially we were like a beginners, we can't deal with these maneuvers, but after we have learned it, then we automatically know how to deal with that. The practice of a meditation is like that too. Initially, when we do not know how to use the tools, we will be, how am I going to do that? Is it possible to sit quietly and watch the breath? And with that, but gradually we develop the skill, and we try to pay attention to it, and this paying attention to develops, and automatically, as soon as the time comes, then we become accustomed to meditate straight away. And that is become automatically, like, let's say in a morning time, this time, and evening time, this time I am going to meditate, and straight away we are scheduled to meditate, and automatically we can meditate without any trouble. Now this is not the end. Right? This is not the end. This is just a training process. It's like you are training to get the certificate how to drive a car. So having a driving license doesn't mean that you are fully skilled. You still have to learn more things on the road. And now you are on the road on your own. Now you have to learn to deal with the situations. And here you need to be more aware. So that's why mindfulness alone is not enough. You're mindful that you know how to drive a car is not good enough. You have to be aware of surroundings, what's happening, what is taking place. Now here, in a practice of a meditation, basically, it's like you're awakening your all the senses, right? And being mindful of that senses. And whatever is we are hearing, we become mindful. Whatever is taking place at that very moment. When we are driving, we enjoy the view. We are aware of a car at front and a view around us. And then when we are changing the gears, we are mindful of which gear we are moving to. We will be hearing things like that. That is developing more a mindfulness. I think I have given you an example of 2 words, mindful and mindful. You remember? The word mindful and mindful. A person who has mindful, that means the mind is full of the junkies. Everything is there, the past and the future, the food, the shopping, the family matters, the work and what I'm doing, so many things. And if you Google, you may find, if you Google and search for mindfulness and mindful, you will see the picture. There will be a person with a dog or with a lady walking, and then the person or 2 persons walking. One person will be thinking of all the gadgets and works and food, and another person or a dog will be just seeing the nature. And a person who is having so much things in his head is basically having a mind full of stuffs, and he can't enjoy the moment where he is. So he's constantly thinking of so many works, whereas a person or a dog will be only seeing trees or the nature and enjoying what's going on. And that's sort of a state. But as a person who hasn't tamed or trained the mind, normally what happens is that we will not be able to enjoy the moment. We will not be able to learn to be in the present moment. And this not knowing how to enjoy in this present moment is the main root cause of all the distractions and the stress and the problems that we are facing in our day-to-day life. And our practice of a mindfulness meditation is developing our awareness to see things when we are seeing, hearing things when we are hearing, smelling when we are smelling, all these nice scents that is coming through, and taste, enjoying your food that you are eating, not like just putting the stuffs in your mouth and grumbling and eating and finished. And pretty often people do like that, reading your books or reading your emails and eating a food. So they are basically not eating a food, they are eating the emails. They're eating the thoughts. They're eating all the troubles. Okay, so they're eating basically with this causing a trouble, right? And when they're touching things, they will be constantly thinking of this and that, or wish I could have this, or wish I could have that, and like that constantly going on. And with this, we cannot be mindful. And here, that's why the practice of a mindfulness meditation is to be mindful that what is happening when it is taking place here and now. So learning to be, that's why sometimes it is called coming to our senses. Coming to our senses, rather than letting the senses go out, coming to our senses and learning about our senses. And here, when we talk about the senses again, everything is same to everybody, and there is no difference to a people or a person. Doesn't matter where that person come from, whether from America, whether from Asia, whether from Europe. Everyone sees things same as everybody sees it. Now, we will not be seeing differently. Everything that we see, a tree, green, everybody sees green. We won't be seeing red. If that's a green, then that's a green. Same with smelling. if that's a nice smell, that's a nice smell. And the test again, it's if that's a good test, then that's a good test. Everybody feels the same. The only difference is the interpretation that we put it in. And that interpretation is needed to be paying a good attention. And that is our skill that we have to develop. And doesn't matter where we pay attention to, and that becomes our memory. And that goes into our memory, into our brain. And then constantly thinking of that, constantly working on that, that produces the action. That's called a production. And when it products some form of thoughts and some form of reactions to it, then we are in the process of producing it. Producing to be this and to be that. Now, this is the actually the law of advert. They're trying to put advert again and again, that whether we like it or not, unintentionally and intentionally, we will be paying attention to it again and again. And that's how our attention is paid on that product. Now, you know how to promote the Nestle products. So you will be using different ideas and different ways to get the attention from other people. And this is what exactly in the practice of a meditation too. So we're learning to pay attention to the object that is taking place and everything that is happening. Right? And then rather than consuming things, we will be paying attention to that as it is. As they are, rather than like it, dislike it, don't like, doesn't like that. Okay, and this again, the process is that the practice normally we have to come to our body. When we talk about the senses, we're coming to the body and mindful of the body. Being mindful of the body is the key. And do you know why? Because this body is so heavy, and this body is always moving in our will, and this body can be troublesome. And this body is always with us. As early on I said, our body is always in the present moment. And all what we are trying to do is bringing this mind and paying attention to this body. And this body is the key factor to bring the peace and the calmness within us. Okay? And to observe this entire body, again, we have to rely on the breath. So breath is always there. When the breath is there, breath is helping us to feel the entire body. And that's why breathing meditation is there. And I have developed this 7 parts body scan, that going through the parts of the body, like a head is one part, the right hand is another second part, the left hand is the third part, the front is the fourth, the back is the fifth, and the right leg sixth, and then the left is the seventh. So dividing into different parts and going through with it helps to be in the present moment. In the meanwhile, after we have paid attention and become absorbed in it, whenever something happens, we're developing the awareness of it. So coming to the senses and aware of that senses, right? So with this reflection, I would like to invite you to practice meditation. Right? So we'll practice the 7-part body scan today. Okay, so bring your attention to the moment here and now, leaving all your responsibilities aside. And as sitting comfortably, and do not worry about any distractions. Checking your intention, motivation, and spend some time on the breath. So just be mindful as you breathe in and breathe out. So breathing in, breathing out. You may spend a little bit longer time in the breath by observing the deep breath and releasing it, like a complete breathing out, and let the body take the breath in. And take a full length of the breath until it stops. And shift your attention to your head, the entire head. Observing the entire head. Whatever sensations are there, be mindful of it. If there are tension, releasing it. Checking whether you are pressing on your eyes or any tiredness. Observing it and let it be free. And shifting your attention to the right hand, from the right shoulder to the entire hand, the arms and hands and fingers. At this moment, try not to move your hands, which will disconnect or distracts your attention to observe any sensations or tensions, any feelings that is taking place in the right hand. And whatever sensations are there, a tension in the shoulder, a lightness or a hollowness, a heat or cold, feeling it, not thinking of it. And shifting your attention to the left arm, from the left shoulder to the entire hand. Observing that what sort of sensations are going there. Slowly going down the entire hand and fingers. Be mindful of it. And shift your attention to the front part of the body, observing the entire front part of the body, starting from the neck, chest, and belly. And see what sort of sensations are there. How do you feel? Any tension, releasing it. And shifting your attention to the back. The entire back, the top and the middle and the end. Observing any sensations. Observing it objectively and let it be. And slowly shifting that attention to the right leg, observing the thigh, legs and toes. Shifting your attention to the left leg. To whatever tensions, sensations, and feelings are on the left leg, from the thigh, legs, and toes. Just be mindful of it. Now pay attention to the entire body as a whole, from top to bottom, as you are sitting. Observing the entire body, like you're sitting in front of the mirror and looking at your sitting body. You see the entire body by feeling it, not by thinking. So observing whatever sensations are there. objectively. And you realize the breath is constantly there, conditioning the body. If you have a coarse breath, you feel heavy. If you have a smooth breath, you feel lighter. And awareness of this breath helps to be aware of the entire body. And awareness of this entire body, we can be aware of our feelings, sensations. And we realize that our life, there's two things there, body and the mind. There's a body and there is a mind. Now we are training this mind. And in this training, whatever comes, we learn to observe, acknowledge, note, and let go. Any distractions that comes, observing it, acknowledging it, noting that this is happening, and let go. This noting helps us to make a choice to act or to leave, to be in suffering or to be in happiness. So happiness and unhappiness is our own product. So whatever we hear, whatever we see, whatever we smell and taste, rather than creating full of stuffs, wanting to have this, wanting to have that, or this hasn't been done, that needs to be done. I have this job to do, that job to do. Just seeing as they are, enjoying the moment, here and now. So, meditation is a science of a happiness, or art of a happiness. Now, as you hear the gong, slowly open your eyes and reflect for a while, and come back to a normal. Okay. So this is a guided meditation. If you have anything or anyone wants to share, you're most welcome this time. You can turn on your mic and you can share. Anyone? No? Okay, so it sounds like everybody's still in a meditative state. Okay. Yeah, so floor is yours, and anyone wants to ask a question or anything to share on maybe previous practice or now. Right. Okay, so in the practice of a meditation, as I have said, that we have to check our behaviors, our thoughts, and our attitudes to things after we have practiced. And after we have practiced, if our behaviors hasn't changed, our attitude hasn't changed, and the way we think or perceive things hasn't changed, then we have to think about it. That how am I practicing? Is it a waste of time? Or is there something that I have to develop more? So this is quite an important part to check. And further on, it's also a way that when we are checking, we have to check ourselves that whether am I having this loving kindness and compassion developed or not. If it's not developed, then we have to check. And here, loving kindness and compassion is forget about other people. Think about our own self. Think about our own self that am I become more kindness to myself or not? Am I spending time for myself or not? Caring for myself or not? Am I becoming compassionate to myself or not? Now you have to ask yourself, have you become compassionate to yourself or not? And normally we will be very hard on us. I am this, I am disqualified, I have done this, and now I should be able to do it. This is my responsibility, and then I have to do it. That's sort of a fixing mind. And I am disqualified, I am that qualified. Now, how can't I do this? So punishing and hard on us. Sometimes we have to accept. Like there is a story that comes in America. There was one jury. She was a very successful lady, and she studied law, and she was a first-class honored student, and she went on working in a very famous law business and a law company. And then what happened, despite of being such a successful in education, when she went on working, and she took on one case which is appeared to be a bit easy, but she lost the case, and she couldn't accept that how this case I lost. And then she, as being a successful lady, talented lady, she couldn't accept that she lost the case. And she put hard on herself, saying, okay, I'm going to put my full effort and will take another harder case. And that is normally happens with the talented people. When you lose something and you think that I need more thing so that I can push myself to get more encouragement, self-esteem, and then motivated and work on. Now it happened that she lost the second job, second case, she lost again. Now, because of that, she lost everything, all the confidence she lost. And she couldn't regulate herself. So her self-efficacy gone down completely. And she went to see the counselor. And then the counselor asked her. So she explained that, oh, I was this, I was that, I was this, I was that. And then how on earth I can't win the case. So I am no good. I cannot do anything. I cannot do anything. I am worthless. And a counselor simply told her, what can you do? And then she said, I can do nothing. I am worthless. So she lost full confidence. She couldn't regulate herself. And this counselor looked at her and told her, did you see? So she was pointing at the corner. Did you see? Do you see the broom? Do you know what is it for? And she said, yes. And then this counselor told her, can you grab the broom? So she went and collect the broom. And then the counselor told her, well, there are a little bit of mess at the corner. Can you sweep it for me, please? And she swept it. And then after sweeping, can you put those dusts, those rubbish into the bin, please? Now, she has to pay for the counselor to see the counselor, and now counselor is asking her to sweeping the floor and putting the rubbish in the bin. She was very annoyed, and yet she did it. And then after that, can you put the brooms where it was? So she went and put it in exactly that place, and she came back and sit down on her chair. And the counselor told her, "What did you do? And what did you do?" And she explained, "Oh, you asked me to go to collect the broom, and you asked me to sweep the floor, and to put the rubbish in the bin, and put the broom back where it was." And then this counselor told her, "Oh, early on you said you cannot do anything." Now that was the trick. And that was the trick. So that's why mindfulness meditation helps us to see that how much we are closing ourselves when things comes, when things happen. We will be simply thinking of only one action and only one direction, and thinking that we cannot. And this is simply because I am the best. I am the one. I am the person who is dealing with it. So we have always this fixing mind and always ahead of it, and not aware of the present moment, who you are, what you are doing here and now. And the moment when we have this awareness, everything becomes easier. And that's how we can define our life. We can choose to be happy or not to be happy. So happiness and unhappiness is based on how we think about it. So we have to be very mindful of, am I kind to myself? Am I too hard on myself? Am I be too compassionate or not? Normally we will be very compassionate to other people. Seeing somebody in suffering, in suffer, oh, so poor lady, oh, poor guy, poor baby. And then we want to offer a help. Even if we can't help, at least we have the sense of this compassionate comes, the sprout. What about yourself? What about to yourself? So one of the very famous Zen master, his name is Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese monk known as the living mindfulness master, who always helping, and he always lives mindfully and encouraging people to live mindfully. And if I have heard, I never been to Plum Village. I was told that every 15 minutes there will be a gong. Yeah, the sound of a gong comes, and it doesn't matter what you are doing, you have to stop. Even if you're playing a music, in the middle of the playing, you have to stop. Even if you are talking, you have to stop. Stand still. If you're walking, stand still for a few moments. And that's simply coming back to know yourself. Now, what he said is, lotus, a beautiful lotus on the fire. It's a mist of the fire. Here, his philosophy is basically saying that we have to grow this lotus flower in our hearts at all the time. Taking those difficulties and challenges and unhappiness moments and things, be compassionate to yourself. Let grow lotus flower in your heart. So that is basically a wisdom. Know that what is going on, what's happening. Am I compassionate to myself or not? So practice of a meditation helps us to be more compassionate to yourself. You will be more listening to your body. Normally, we do not listen to our body. It will be okay, constantly working until this body becomes very tired and fed up and saying, I have warned you so many times, you never listen to me, and now I will take you to bed. So we become sick. And only then, oh, I am having this sickness, oh, so pain, and we care. Do not let it happen. Do not wait until this body complains and takes us to the bed. We better be compassionate ourselves, caring ourselves, sparing some time for ourselves. Go to the nature. Go to the nature. Enjoy with the nature sometimes. And give time to relax. Give time to, indulge yourself for sometimes. So that is. And practice helps us to recognize that and finding the ways to deal with that. And finding a ways to be happy. So we have to check it again and again. That whether my practice is helping me to be more kindness to myself or not. To be more compassionate to myself or not. More open to myself or not. And once we recognize that, then that is basically rewarding. And that brings happiness. And that is the ultimate goal of the practice. And we become a water-like. Can be anywhere, at any time. We're able to adapt, adjust, and live happily without any trouble. And that is the teachings behind the mindfulness. Right? So, anyone? If not, then we will practice again. Any reflection or anything anybody wants to say? Right? Okay. Right. Okay. So in that case, we will practice meditation again to more understanding on the practice. Okay? So let's take a seat, comfortable seating, and we'll practice. As you hear the gong, close your eyes and practice. So sitting in a comfortable position, bringing your mind and heart to the moment here and now. And spend some time on the breath, observing the incoming breath and outgoing breath. When breathing in, you know that breathing in When breathing out, you know that breathing out. And let it flow naturally, normally, as it comes in and as it goes out. Do not hold the breath, do not control the breath, and do not regulate the breath. Just observing the incoming breath and outgoing breath as though you are sitting at the bank of the river and watching the river flow. Do not try to hold the river or interfere with the river. Whatever flows, let it flow. So does the breath. And try to observe the different breaths. Do not try to make it long or short, but observing the different breaths. Sometimes incoming breath can be long or short. Other times outgoing breath can be long and short. If that is long, simply observe that is long, and if that is short, simply observe that that is short. And extending your awareness to the entire body as breathe in and breathe out takes place. So breathe in, experiencing the entire body, and Breathe out, experiencing the entire body contracts. Again, not thinking, but by feeling. When you breathe in, observing the entire body, where you feel any particular place or entire body expands like a balloon. And when you breathe out, is there any particular place that you can feel or entire body falls? And extending your awareness to see that breath is making the body to feel. And it expands, it conditions the entire body. And oftentimes a body is conditioning to the breath to coming in and going out. And sometimes we take a long breath, a feeling of the shortness of the breath. So we take a quick breath. Seeing the condition of this body and the breath. And remember again, you're not doing it, you are observing it. You're simply an observer, not the doer or not the fixer. Breathing in, breathing out. As you hear the gong, open your eyes and come out from meditation. And reflect for a few moments. Okay. So anybody wants to share? If not, I'm thinking to show you a PowerPoint on how to do the walking meditation. I was kept thinking of it for a long time to introduce you to practice walking meditation. So physically we cannot do, so I have created this small PowerPoint to show you. And before this PowerPoint, anybody wants to share or ask? Yeah.
I'd like to say something. Even after, let's say, trying to meditate for a long time, let's say, or a fair amount of time, I found very, very hard to not try to control my mind. So what you mentioned before is, especially in meditation sessions which are a bit longer than usual, I see myself starting like, kind of letting go. So with the right approach. But then as thoughts come in, I really see myself trying to say, no, this is not right. So go back and refocus. So I switch and I try to focus, to concentrate.
Mm.
And then this no longer works. So I try to control. So I try to decide what kind of thoughts should come in or should not come in. And then this creates a loop, which is very bad because I feel myself like, okay, I'm no longer meditating now. So, and then I think about what I'm thinking. So I have double thoughts, think about what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Just to say that it's a very long journey, and not all meditation sessions are equal. Like the previous we did, I felt myself very relaxed, very quiet. I felt, okay, this is a good day. And then the second meditation, it was a lot more difficult. I was starting to think about, okay, it's almost 12 o'clock. I have a lot of things to do later, this and this and that, and trying to organize my day. So yeah, sometimes it's just like that. You gotta accept this and just carry on with the trust that some meditation will just be like that, some will not. So that's all I wanted to say. It's not a question, it's just a consideration.
I would like to add something, because I was thinking exactly the same. And it's even worse when we we're not practicing for a while, like it happened, like I was saying before, because we went on vacation. When we start doing it again, I am in that as well, in that control attitude, let's say, because I want to do it properly. So I am in control and not letting go. It's even worse when we're not doing that for a while.
You kind of want to prove yourself that you still got this, you know? But then it gets worse if you try to do that.
Yeah.
So one thing we have to keep in our minds that there is no bad meditation, there is no good meditation. Everything is meditation. Yeah? When we are, like you have said, you're meditating and you're thinking about it. Actually, that thinking itself needs to be recognized, and that is a mindfulness. Yeah? So that is a meditation. And these thoughts come and work in that moment. I am thinking. That is the moment you stopped. I am thinking. That is called awareness.
Right.
So you're mindful, you're having a thought, but you are not aware yet. The moment when you're aware that I am thinking, I am thinking, that is a stopping point.
So we have sparks of awareness in the process.
That's why in a Buddhist term, there are 3 words comes. One is called knowing. You know, you're thinking. You're mindful that you're thinking and you're meditating, but you're thinking, you know, but you haven't seen it yet. And this seeing is called the pure awareness. Yeah, so you see that, oh, this is happening. I normally call it aha. Yeah, I normally call it aha, this is happening. Aha. So you stop there. It's like a pressing a button there. You are there. And then moment, you simply come back. Right? And this is also a process of a practice of a walking meditation. I think in a practice when I'm leading a meditation here at the center as well, sometimes people say, oh, today meditation is so perfect, so good, so calm. And then sometimes they say, horrible, I'm thinking so much. My mind is not calm. My mind is all over the world. Which one do you think is a good meditation? For me, when I tell them, the one that you are thinking is a good one, rather than the one that you are thinking of having a calm meditation. Because when you are thinking, you're constantly working and you try to be mindful. When you are calm, you're like having opium and having drugs and going into a trance and blissful moment like that. So that's why thinking is no problem. Knowing is important. Okay, and seeing that I am thinking is okay. Okay, so let me share this PowerPoint before we run out of the time. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a PowerPoint. So in a walking meditation also, again, it can be done in different ways. And now I'm not going to explain these 2 types of meditation which we are familiar with, that is concentration meditation and a vipassana meditation or insight meditation. And in the practice of a meditation, it involves standing, walking, sitting, and lying. There are 4 main postures. Right? And now here, the last sentence here, walking meditation is to bring mind and a body together while we are out and about. Out and about. So that means we are taking a meditation with us. It's like wearing a cloth, and we are going with the meditation all the time. That's called a vehicle. You're making meditation as a vehicle. You are on the vehicle. So you're walking along with that. And here, this practice of a walking meditation again comes in one of the very famous discourse called the Satipatthana Sutta, okay? And that is the 4 foundations of a mindfulness, which is one of the famous discourses that you may have seen hundreds or thousands of translations going on with that, and everybody referred to that sutta. And in that sutta, there is a saying, when a person is walking, understands properly that I am walking. When person is standing, understands properly that I'm standing. And then whichever position one is mindful. Okay, so whichever position he is mindful of that and understands it properly. That is the instructions. And from this basis, there are the different techniques. And now here, the benefit of the walking meditation, again, it helps to arouse the effort to practice and the faculties to develop, and also it helps to gain a more sitting meditation. Right? So that's why in our center, although we are not doing a walking meditation before chanting, I substitute chanting as like a walking meditation. Because when you are chanting, you have to put a lot of effort to be mindful of the words. And then after finish the chanting, when you go to meditate, it's easier. So sitting meditation is easy to gain the samadhi or the concentration. In the meanwhile, it's very difficult to keep it last long. After a while, I think my mind is settled. Immediately we will be thinking of so many other things. Whereas in the walking meditation is different. It's very difficult to gain the concentration. Right? Difficult to gain the concentration. As our senses are open, we will be thinking, seeing, hearing, everything. So we will be thinking. But once you become concentrated, then that long last. It can last quite a long time. And that's a benefit of the walking meditation. And also, it brings the balance in our concentration as well. And most importantly, it helps to digest our food. And if you're having a digestive problem, then learn to walk. If you walk, then it helps you. This is the benefit that the Buddha talked in the discourses. It helps to even a release of our diseases as well. So some form of a disease as well. And then, and in a practice of a walking meditation, it involves the 3: standing, walking, and turning. And each time when you are turning or each time when you are walking, you will be initiating yourself. You're telling yourself that intentionally, I am going to move myself. From standing, I am going to turn. From standing, I'm going to walk. So you are telling yourself to walk. You are telling yourself to turn, and you are walking. Right? So there's always a noting going on. It's like a pressing. Your awareness is there at all the time, and this is happening. Okay. And here, the first is a standing position. So standing still. You can close your eyes or not. You can open your eyes, but if you are opening your eyes, then your eyes are supposed to be gazing about 3 meters ahead, and not more than that, and not looking all around. Okay, just at front, about 3 meters ahead, and then feeling the entire body, mentally and noting standing. So it's basically telling to yourself, embracing the entire body and saying to yourself, standing. And you can expand it to feel the greatness of the earth, and the feeling of your root, your body root is going inside the earth like a tree. So imagining yourself like a tree, expanding your roots on the ground. Okay? So it's expanding. And then the simile, the tree simile, I like a lot. You know? When tree bends here and there like this, along with the wind, and it makes sounds, crackings and things. Basically, each time it moves, it basically sending its roots inside, deeper into the earth. And that same we have to think in our life. Whenever problem comes in different directions, we never know when which way the problems are coming. And taking that problems and using that problem to root ourselves and founding ourselves and grounding ourselves. So that's also you can extend in your practice of a standing meditation. And here, the walking meditation, there are 3 different types of walks that we can do. One is a brisk walking. So you're thinking nothing. You simply walk, in a normal walk, you're walking and enjoying the nature, enjoying your walk, and you're listening the sounds and crackings and all. So you're walking. There is no like a general walk. If you're walking to the market, you're going to shoppings or wherever, you're just simply walking. That's called brisk walk. And the second is a counting. And here counting is like a right, a left, like a 1, 2, 1, 2, or you can, and this again, counting steps. If you are walking like a formal walk, then you will have about you can try yourself. If you're walking up and down, suppose if you're walking around 23 to 25, then that's the perfect time. If more than about 27, your mind already distracts. Your mind will be thinking of something, or you're lost. You're not mindful of your walk. And if that's again less than that, about less than a 21 or 20, then again, you feel like something is not enough yet. You can test yourself and choosing between this 20 to 29 or 30 steps, and you walk, and that's a counting. You can practice this as well. And this counting really helps to bring your awareness into the present moment. And here the last one is a systematically noting moment. And here it comes different stages of a walking meditation, which we normally do. And here a brisk walking that I have said, and then counting steps, and like a the 26 to 26 to 20, or any words you can say. And here the systematically walking, and this is from the Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. This is one of the famous commentaries. And here 6 stages of walking meditation. The first one is right goes thus, left goes thus, and lifting, placing, lifting, moving, placing. And then these 6 stages of walking meditation needs to be done very slowly, not like in a brisk walk or a counting, or like counting steps or a brisk walking. You can do as you like. There is no slowness. Whichever step, pace you want to do, you can do, and you're aware and noting other things. But in this 6 stages, you have to do it slowly. So this is the first stage of a walking meditation. So right goes thus, left goes thus. So basically, after you're standing, you're aware of a standing position, and send your attention to the right foot, and then lifting, so goes forward. So right goes thus. So right, you should be lifting a right foot, and it goes, and thus, at the moment when you say thus in mentally, the foot is on the ground. And then after the foot is on the ground, you're shifting your attention to the left foot. And then from there again, left goes thus. Okay, so there, my right leg, my left leg is there. The second one is lifting and placing. So here, remember, there is no right and a left. It's pure awareness is there. Awareness of your lifting foot. So lifting and placing. There are 2 points. Lifting 1 point, placing 2 point. The second point. So you're aware of these 2 points. Lifting, placing. Very slow. And here again, now 3 points. Here again, there is no left and a right. Pure awareness, mindfulness of your lifting and of going forward. See, so lifting, pushing, and placing, or lifting, moving, placing. There are 3 points here. 3 points. You're mindful of 3 points. And here, the 4 points. So rising, so you raise it a little bit. And then lifting, pushing, and placing. And here raising in the picture, I normally call it heels up, because the toes are still touching the ground. You simply heels up. Your heels up, lifting, pushing, and placing. Okay? So it's 4 steps, 4 points to notice. And here comes 5. And here again, heels up, lifting, moving, dropping. As you drop, you haven't touched the floor yet, and then touching or pressing. Right? And this requires a lot of effort, a lot of effort. Okay, and then normally from 4th level, a person already has got a good concentration, only then able to pay full attention to this 4th level. And then obviously the 5th level and 6th one, even harder. Okay, and this is really, really super slow. And here, so heels up, lifting, moving, dropping. So you're dropping and then touching the floor and placing or pressing. Okay? And now here, if your concentration is good enough, when you are dropping, in this moment of dropping, there must be about maybe 2 inches gap between your foot and the floor. But if your concentration is good, you see why this is so long. This 2 inches. Why this is so long? You see that little bit of a gap becomes so long. You see that. Okay? And you are dropping and you're placing. Okay? So this is the 6th level of a walking meditation. And here we are not just watching the foot moving forward, but we are trying to notice the phenomena, how these moves. And when you are moving forward, you can experience the wind brushing with your leg, wind brushing with your legs. You can hear the sounds and you can feel that your body is one thing, your mind is another, the feeling is another. So you're able to notice those differences, they call it phenomena. Okay, and here again, see, and the first, here you can see the physical movement, and the second is the phenomena, and the third is elements. Elements here, heat, cold. You can observe that, the heaviness, the lightness, you can observe that as well. And then able to see the mind is one thing, matter is another. And then the meantime, that moment when you are practicing, seeing, thinking, and pain, and hearing, and smelling, these things happen. So you need to be mindful at that time as well. So that's why practice of a walking meditation is difficult, but once you understood it, then it's become easier. Okay, easier to practice. So it's again a walking meditation. Bring your attention to the moving foot, observe the movement and noting it, and a sharp awareness develops. Okay, and then closing your eyes is again, it's up to you. It's up to you to close your, but when you are walking, when you're practicing a walking meditation, do not close your eyes. Okay, do not close your eyes, and do not practice walking meditation with closed eyes. Always practice with open eyes. All the important is you are not looking around, you're simply straight. And when you are doing this 6 stages of a walking meditation, the 6 stages of walking meditation, this time you don't have to choose like 26 steps. You can use probably about 3 meters of the length in your room. And this 3 meters of a length, if you are practicing properly, let's say you're practicing up to the step 3, and now believe me, it will take only 5 rounds. Half an hour is gone. 3 meters, you're walking, maybe about 5 rounds, 30 minutes is gone. And then if you are doing this 3 meters, the 6th step, sometimes maybe 2 rounds or maximum 3 rounds, 30 minutes is gone. So we don't have to look at the watch when we are on the retreat. We can be mindful of how many rounds we have done, and with that we can see that it's half an hour or 1 hour. Okay. So that's why this is a really slow motion practice. And this really requires a lot of concentration, and with that a lot of concentration, then you can develop the this more awareness on that. Actually, I should have shown you this last bit as well, the last page, which you may have seen a picture. This one, how can you imagine how someone is in on the one bamboo and like a boat, and someone sitting exercising? How could he manage? Is it possible or is it not? Do you think it's true? So this is true. They can do. It is true, not just in the movies. It's a real picture. Now this is a balance. So this balance here, always practice equal to sitting and walking meditation. Never do one or another if we really want to develop more concentration. Now do not look at that picture, because that was once in a while, and once upon a time, long time ago. That was me. That was 20 years ago. Okay, so that is just to give you an idea, and you can go and practice at home. And like, let's say throughout this 1 month time, you can try and practice this walking meditation, and next month when we are coming, we can discuss which one or how you find with the walking meditation. Okay. And here again, this one you can practice as you're walking to the toilet from your office or shopping. You can be mindful of your walks as well. And even when you're walking, just be mindful of right goes, left goes, right, left, like that. Okay. Right. Okay. We are just about to finish. Anybody wants to say anything? We will do a short loving kindness. If not, any questions? Okay, that means no. So let's practice loving kindness meditation to finish off. Too much information today. Okay, so as you hear the gong, let's bring attention and practice loving kindness meditation. Okay, bring your attention to the moment here and now. Relax yourself. Spend a few moments on the breath. And reflect today's session for a while. And spend a few moments connecting with yourself and allowing yourself to share the kindness and compassion. Feeling yourself. I am well. I am happy. I am at peace. I am well. I am happy. I am at peace. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings. Or you may bring into your mind any particular person that you think they really need it. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be at peace. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be at peace. And bring your attention to your hands. Feel the sensation in your hand and to your body. Feel the sensations in your body. And to your eyes. And as you hear the gong, slowly open your eyes and come out from meditation and reflect for a few moments. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best rest of the month. And I hope you will take some both sitting meditation and walking meditation, and we'll come back next month. Just almost saying next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
ขอบคุณค่ะพระอาจารย์
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ค่ะ
Thank you